Late that night, with Gareth and Q asleep, Rose sat out on the living room couch, still shredded from the encounter, but distracting herself by prepping an upcoming lecture and slides for grand rounds at the medical center. Seizures, slurred words, loss of motor control, eventual paralysis. Whenever she described her work on neurodegenerative disorders in pre-adolescent brains, Rose felt as if she were narrating the prologue to a horror novel. The question was how to pitch the subject for first and second years, how to spur their interest in this obscure corner of pediatric neurology. The family of diseases she studied in her lab was rare enough that Rose had met only 12 patients with infantile diagnosis since she'd started working on the terminal disorder 7 years ago. These years of research had convinced her that her team had revealed a new pathway to treatment, that the particular enzymatic mechanism she had isolated held the key to a much wider range of neurodegenerative disorders. Finding that key would require money and time, too much of both, and the field of neurology was fiercely competitive. But give her 5 years and $5 million and she would tame this monster tearing through the brains of the young. 2 MRI images glowed from her screen, close-up cross-sections of an atrophic parietal lobe, the decay highlighted in the red PowerPoint circles and arrows she had just added to the slide. Below the image, her cold description of its pathology. She looked away into the darkened kitchen, the brains of the young. The stove clock ticked to 2:12 a.m., and her thoughts churned over the fraught exchange with Azra, Beck's gaslighting of other parents, Azra's frustrations with her sweet boys and her annoying friends. Rose's work had taught her never to take Emma's health for granted, though maybe it was too easy for all of them to lapse into a glib complacency with these constant parental worries about achievements and test scores, the invidious but inescapable comparisons. She took one final glance at her screen before shutting her laptop and stealing into Emma's room for the day's last look at her little girl, a soft kiss on that forehead. Survivor's guilt, now incarnate in her daughter. Every night, Rose came home from her mouse brains and her next-gen sequencer to whisper an agnostic's fierce blessing down through the skull and into the thriving brain of her only child.